Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to our webinar, Finding the Stops. Today's presentation is all about finding where the stop losses are placed and how you could use that information to make money. In fact, when I say the word stop loss, I'm willing to bet it turns a lot of traders' stomachs. Why? Because it is a painful emotional process by which your stop loss takes an unrealized loss and crystallizes it in your account. So we're going to talk about how that could actually be flipped and used to make profits out of the situation. I'm going to share that info with you tonight, as well as make a pretty big announcement on some changes and how it'll impact your trading going forward. I really look forward to this presentation. It'll be interactive throughout the session. I encourage you guys to ask questions, and we're going to have a lot of fun. That I promise you. I want to start by reading the disclaimer because the lawyer said I had to. The information contained in this presentation is for educational purposes and does not constitute investment advice. The risk of trading securities markets can be substantial. You should carefully consider if engaging in such activities suitable to your own financial situation. TRADEPRO Academy is not responsible for any liabilities arising as a result of your market involvement or individual trade activities. Past performance is not indicative of future results. I feel like if that's how lawyers talk to each other, oh boy, they had a long day. Could have said that in one sentence. All right, guys, let's get into it. I want to just get started right with the content here and put it right to you immediately and ask you some real good questions here. Before we get started, I want to ask you how long you've been trading. So I just want to throw a poll in there and get some of your input. I like to interact with you quite often. I just want to know kind of how to tailor this info and how to deliver the information, how fast to go, etc. I see a few votes coming on in. Perfect. I'm going to close it off in about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom, close the poll. I'll share it with you. Okay, you can see the poll results. About 36% of you 6 months to a year, 21% of you just starting, and that's phenomenal. You're gonna take a lot of value out of this presentation. I wish I could have started at this level with this kind of information when I started almost 14 years ago. All right, a few of you traded through a crash or two, so welcome as well. All right, I'm gonna hide the results, and we're going to get carried forward. I have one more question to ask you. Which products have you guys traded? So I'm going to launch the poll one more time. It's a multiple checklist here. You can go in there and click multiple things. So if you've done options and stocks, click both of them. Heck, if you've done them all, just go crazy. Click everything you want. Get trigger happy. It ain't going to cost anything here in this webinar. All right, a lot of you traded stocks. A lot of you traded options. And I'm going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Just kidding, no explosion. All right, I'm going to share this with you. So about 63% of you traded stocks, half of you have traded options, a third have traded currencies, and 1 in 10 have traded futures. Man, you guys are going to love this presentation just based on those results. So I'm happy because you're going to learn a lot. All right, let's jump into it here. I want to go into the next slide, and I want to start the presentation. I want to ask you guys, and I want you to say yes in the chat box and in the question box if you've experienced this. You go in and you buy a stock. I don't care what stock it is, whatever it is, or an option. It's allowed you to trade that. Or a future. And you place a stop loss. What is your intention here? You say, you know, if this thing drops big time, I want to cut my loss. All right, and then shortly after you do that, boom, your stop is hit. Maybe you buy the stock, it cruises through your stop loss, and you're out with a loss. All right, and then you say, well, you know what? Good thing I'm out because I cut my wrist. This thing's going to continue to plummet. What happens? Then the stock shoots right back up and goes even higher above your entry. Who's it happened to? Say aye. Heck, it happens to me. It has happened to me. It happened to me really often. It happens to me less often. It will always happen to you. This is a very, very common experience for traders. Whether you've been trading 6 months, a year, just starting out, you're doing it for years, it starts to hurt less. You start to recognize it more, but this is a process that we're very familiar with. And how does it feel? How does that feel? Like that, right? The face might change, the nationality might change, the expression, the age, but at the end of the day, the emotion does not. That's how it feels. It feels like somebody comes out with their right arm and they just go out and lift weights, build up a nice bicep, and just hurl it right at your stomach, just to give you a nice punch right in the gut where it hurts. Well, that's how it feels. And, you know, you look at the process of hitting a stop loss, and a stop loss, all right, despite being called a stop loss, its intention is to cause you to stop losing money to the downside. But what it actually does is it's a realized loss. It's a real loss is what you could call that order. And I'm going to teach you why and how to avoid that, why it happens, and how you can place it a little bit more strategically, plus a few ways to tell when they're coming so you can get out of the way and how you can trade this thing properly. All right, here's the dynamic of a stop. Feels like one in the gut. I agree. Just a nice strong forehand right in the gut. All right, here's the dynamic of a stop loss. And I'm going to get you guys to answer some questions as we go along here. Okay, so there's a stock. Let's call this stock A. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Whatever your initials are for your name, that's a stock symbol. And it's going up. It's pumping higher. Every single education outlet out there will tell you, wait to buy the dip. Buy low, sell higher. All right, first of all, I'm going to tell you, you got to divorce that theory of buying low and selling high always and holding on, and as it continues to drop to keep buying. Because I'm going to tell you, the sad reality of that situation. If you look at any chart of a stock that's alive, it will work. Why does that strategy work? Because that stock is still alive. There are more stocks that have died and ceased to exist than currently do exist, which means buying the dips and waiting and holding the long investor approach will eventually explode your account into smithereens. But let's say we're trading. We're saying, hey, you know what? Here's a dip. Maybe it's down to Fibonacci ratio, good support. Would you buy it yet? Who would buy here? Say yes. No. All right. Why? Too early? Somebody says too early. All right. Well, what about now? Who can have a little bit more conviction here saying, well, you know what? 1, 2, 3, that becomes a little bit of a support, and I got a chance to get long here and make some money. We've tried this bottom a few times, and it just ain't working. So I think, as technical analysis says, this is support, so it's got to go up, right? Yeah, Mel says it looks like a rally about to happen. Here we go. Let's get in there. And you get in and you say, I'm a conservative investor. I'm prudent. I know about risk management because I read about all those articles. I'm going to put my stop down here because if we get below this level, guess what's going to happen? Everyone's going to start selling, and I want to get out of my trade. I don't want to take more of a loss than this level. You know, if you've gotten this far and you're saying, yes, that's me, actually, amazing job, pat on the back, because you're at least using risk management. But then what happens? It goes up. You feel good about yourself, and you're saying, great job. Wow, I'm going to retire in 2 seconds. The stock's going to go to the moon. Whack, it gets hit. Your stop loss gets hit. You're out of the trade. You're sitting here with your eyes wide open saying, what happened? This was support. All right? This was support. What happened? All these YouTube videos I'm watching saying I should have bought that. And then right back up it goes. Where? To where you bought it. Then you get one little dip. Off to the races it goes. All right? Who's seen the setup? Say yes if it's happened to you. Exactly like that. I don't know, maybe it looks a little bit different, but oh yeah. Yeah, the amount of yeses I'm getting, I can tell you, I know that feeling. It sucks. It's a terrible feeling. That's the punch in the gut moment. And the punch in the gut moment is not here. It's actually here. That's when you really get punched in the gut because you were right. You were right, but you lost money. And that's the worst psychological pattern here that you could experience. Now, let me explain to you what's actually going on behind the scenes here. You got some buyers getting in. The stops get hit. All right. Once the stops get hit, the price cruises back up to the previous level. What does technical analysis say? Current support is going to be previous resistance. So some shorts get in here. All right. And then the real smart money just gets in here and starts buying. Who's doing the buying above here? Who's buying here? Smart money or retail / public money? Who's doing the buying here, guys? What do you guys think? The big players, it's the retail crowd. You know who's buying this? The smart players bought down here. They bought down here. The people that are buying this are those that got stopped out here. They got in, they got stopped out. Like, oh, I cut my loss. Now it's back up to above where they bought it. I'm going to buy it now. I knew it was going up. I'm going to buy it. Darn it, I should have held on. I'm going to put my stop here. Boom, stop gets wiped. And this pattern legitimately continues on and on through the cycles. Every day I can show you this pattern in different stocks. All right. Now, let's flip the scale because I want to teach you guys how to read this the right way because we're conditioned from being employees, from going to school, from the day we were born, we've been conditioned to do things a certain way, and that certain way is the exact opposite of what it takes to be a successful trader. Okay, so what would you do if you saw a high volume of buyers? Let me run you through another example. Let's say you got a trend coming in here. You don't know where it's going, if it's coming from up or down. It doesn't matter. The point is you have a price. It's hovering. You see a lot of volume and a lot of buyers. Okay, let me ask you guys this. Just having that little bit of information, do you think it's going up, type number 1, or down, number 2? What do you think is going to happen? 1, it's going to go up on the volume. Now, it means that a lot of people got long, right? Remember that. A lot of people got long. What does that mean? What does a long, if you're a long trader, all right, let's say you currently own 100 shares, what do you have to do to get out of your position? Sell, all right? Interesting. You're a long, but you're actually a seller. Now, where would you sell in this example? You got 2 spots, below for a stop loss, all right, or above for take profit. No matter where you sell, you're a seller at both levels. That's very, very important. So what you need to know is the first dynamic that you have to start recognizing is a support level that keeps getting banged on and getting hit, volume starting to increase, and this thing's not taking off. It's just not going. Because now you have a lot of long traders who are getting close to their stop losses. It just takes a little bit of a dump to really trigger them all, and then they buy that dip, the smart money, and force these guys that got stopped out to chase it. That's the dynamic. You got to flip the script. Let me show you what we do at TRADEPRO Academy here, and this is where it starts to look a little different. You're going to have an aha moment here. This chart is going to look totally foreign to you, and it should, because probably about 2% of the population that trades even knows what this chart is. All right, I'd say even less. Remember that about 5% of traders are successful, but 2% know what this chart is. And 100% of who's a TRADEPRO Academy knows this. So let me show you the dynamic. Pretend this is just price. This is just price going up. It doesn't matter what the stock is. Right now it's the index, 2375, 76, 77, point at a time. Okay, don't worry about the fancy numbers in here. What I want you to see is this little thing on the right side. What this is telling you is how many traders are currently long, all right, or short. How do we know that? This is a balance. This is a number that shows you a balance between buyers and sellers. If you have 30,000 buyers and 20K sellers that are aggressive at this level, this will show you a 10,000 print. This means there are 10,000 longs. If it was the opposite way, if you had 20K buyers and 30K sellers, you'd have a negative 10 here, like the level down here. Now, George, you're going to ask, how is it possible for there to be more buyers than sellers if for every buyer there is a seller required to make a transaction happen? Does anyone think about that? I'm going to say, wait a minute, how is that possible? There is a difference between a passive and an aggressive seller. All right, a passive seller is incentivized differently. An aggressive seller is somebody who's in there doing market orders. There's a difference between market and limit orders. Okay, that's one thing you also need to track as a trader. And I hope I'm kind of opening your vision up here to more than just little trend lines and buying dips. Okay, because there's a lot more to it than that. In 1990, that was phenomenal. It worked. Head and Shoulders was a phenomenal trading pattern. Now the only Head and Shoulders you should be using is a shampoo. All right. Now let's look at this. So at this level, you have 10,105 buyers. All right. The price has gone up. What do you guys think? How do you feel about this? There's 10,000 buyers towards a price up here. It's been running for a little bit of time. You should start to kind of look at this. I think it's all important too. I really do. Somebody mentioned, I think it's all important. I do. I agree. All those tools are great for you. But we put a lot of stress and emphasis on things that we think we need, and we actually don't look at the things that are very important. This is how the market's evolved and changed. This is what the algos are looking at. They're looking at much granular, more micro type information or microstructure. All right, but look at this. Okay, so we flip the scale. Now how does the long feel? Let's say 10,000 bought here, and we're down, what, 3 ticks, almost a point. How do you guys feel? How do you think a long would feel if they bought here and said, look, 10,000 contracts are long and the price isn't going up? How do you guys think the longs feel? Nervous? A little maybe? I think, oh man, here comes my stop. I don't know what's going to happen. They're ready to get out, yeah, potentially. Or they're saying, it's going to rotate, I'm going to get up. It's going to come back, don't worry. Now your edge turns to hope. And what's the next step? What do you guys think? Whack. Sell stops. What you're seeing here, this is today's open. This was the morning open. I traded in the room together with all of our subscribers, and I told them, careful on this open. Even though it kind of tried to look strong, we're starting to fail. Stay out of the way. Wait for a dip. All right? Just get out of the way. It looks like there's people getting in on the long side, and they're not getting paid. And what happens? Stops. I want to tell you this much. The market moves in the direction where there's going to be the maximum amount of loss for the maximum amount of traders. Get the notion out of your head that this is a beautiful business. It's not a business where we're all making money and high-fiving each other. It's a business where emotion gets stuck at the top, all right, and gets shaken out on the downside. The market moves when traders bleed out their positions. When you see a movement, it's a movement of blood, all right? It's a movement of damage. It's a movement of somebody getting hurt, somebody getting shaken out of their long. Now, what you need to do is, as a trader, is recognize that information. Look, you had 10,000 contracts long, sell stops come out. This is how you got to flip the way you think. You find a level with a lot of buyers. It's not telling you that you should get long. It's actually telling you a lot of buyers means what? It means there's no more buyers. If everyone that wants to buy a stock, a commodity, a future, whatever it is, an option, if everyone that wants to buy has bought, there are no more buyers. They're now all sellers. The question is who gets shaken out first. All right? And that's called the puke. In the business, we literally call it the puke. You puke your position, it's just coming out, ain't stopping it, just going down. That's what happened here. This is a prime example. Huge dip. Yeah, exactly, Barbara. It's a huge dip. All right? Does this help you guys see the mentality a little different? So what is this indicator? This indicator is delta profile. This is an entirely different thing, and we're going to get to it. Just give me a moment. I promise you I'll take you out there with it. So what I want you guys to start to think is when you find a support level, look for high volume, and traditionally you're taught there's going to be an upside breakout, but ask yourself this question when you look at that kind of pattern. Are these longs getting paid? Are there more longs coming in? And if there are no longs coming in, a long position is a seller waiting to happen. Remember that. And a lot of times the way stocks will move, options, everything will move. It'll go up until it gets a whole bunch of people stuck at the top, shakes them out, leaves them holding the bag. They'll dump and they'll say, I had enough of this. And then the smart crowd starts to pick up the money. And only after we break the high will the people that got stopped start chasing it higher, and that's when it gets parabolic. Look at the market. That's what happened today. All right, when it started to drop this morning, the guys in the room were saying, George, what's going on? Is there any news? No. You know what there is? A lot of buyers have just got nervous, and they're starting to chase the exit. It's like having a little dance party, and there's one little door, and you lock it, and you set a fire in the middle in the capacity room. What's going to happen? They're going to rush to that door, all of them. They're going to try to kick it down, and some of them, unfortunately, be casualty. Others will get out. That's what happens in the market, right? That's the dynamic. Mal says my drawings haven't improved. Mal, I have yet to take an arts degree, so that's on my board of things to say. Yeah, stand by the door. That's a good example. If you're in a room, stand by that door because everyone's running out. It's like a party. You go to a party. Back in the day, I remember we used to show up to parties, and whenever it was at the prime, when everyone's having the best time, I start lining up at coat check. I'm trying to get out. All right? Not again. This is what you're left thinking. Darn it. Well, let's talk about this. I want to tell you my story very quickly. I started trading in 2001. My dad got me into the markets on the back of currency trading. From there, I started a company with my friend. We were trading our own capital. I remember him. I can't say his name because who knows. This is going to eventually make it out in the public. But we started a little company together, pooled in some of our own money. We did decent. We did well, and then ended up going our own ways. And I went to school. I said, I want to learn this thing, how to do it professionally. Guess what school taught me about trading? Nothing. It taught me all the reasons that it can't be done. That's what it taught me. All right? School will teach you all the reasons that traders are not supposed to exist. All right? They're kind of like a unicorn out there. And then I went and joined a trading company. I became an options licensed trader on the desk in one of the biggest companies here in Canada. I learned a lot through there. In 2008 and 2009, I did a lot of research, a lot of analysis. I posted it out there for people to see. And I sounded the alarm bell, and I could show you those posts. I sounded the alarm bell loud and clear. I said, look, and I told this to people back then, I said, I'm not saying get out of everything. I'm just saying take some profit. It's starting to look weak. It's starting to buckle at the knees. I didn't expect this drop. I wasn't happy at this drop, but the calls I got on the trading floor at the company, I'm telling you, it was savage. I don't want to get too dark here, but there was some stuff that I heard on that phone call where, police had to be notified because based on the threats that people are making. It was dark. People evaporated their funds. All their money was lost. A lot of retirement funds, a lot of business people who had capital, like I can't pay my payrolls. What do I do? All right? That's the sad part about the business. Okay, but the good news is it was avoidable. All right? It was totally avoidable, and that's what drove me to start TRADEPRO Academy. I said I never want to let this happen to anybody because it's avoidable. Okay? And that's when I founded a company since 2012. Been trading since, trading full-time and doing this for a living, teaching as well. And, you know, a lot of people ask, why do you teach if you could do? And I'll tell you, I'll give you the answer right now. It's boring as heck. You know, it can get really boring. You trap somebody in a corner all day long, and they need some friends to get by. So what I'm trying to do here is build a community. We've started that, and I got big announcements tonight for you. So that's my story. Pleasure to meet you. Let's go forward with a little exercise here, and I want to help you guys out with this. All right, look around your room. What facts, Victoria? Look around the room, all right? Okay, take a second to notice everything that's green. Look around the room for things that are green. I see a plant right now. What else do I see? I don't have a lot of green here. See a plant. I see my option volatility book. All right. Are you ready? You've seen everything that's green? Give me a favor. Close your eyes. Just trust me on this one. I can't hurt you. I'm on a webinar here. Just give me some trust. I told you about myself. Trust me here. All right. Now, let me ask you this question. What in the room is red? What are some red objects inside of the room that you have? Type it in here. Let's see if you could... Ladybugs. Barbara, you want to get that looked at maybe? All right, the point I'm making, you can open your eyes here, is the point I'm making is that you were so prepared to look for green. You spotted all the green things. You're like, check, check, check. Yes, I'm doing amazing. I'm going to kill this exercise. Then when I said, what's actually red? You're like, uh-oh, I missed it. I missed the red stuff. Does that mean those red things weren't there when you were looking? No. You just missed them because you weren't looking for them. And this exercise, the lesson behind this entire exercise is this. The information that you need to be successful as a trader is out there. It's available to you. It's not more expensive. It's not available only to professionals. With the internet right now, the way things are set up, it's available to you. The problem is you got to know what to see, you got to know what to look for, and you got to know who and where to trade in order to get access to that information. Right? That's really the crux of all of it. That's it. That's the lesson from that. You could be looking for green, but you're missing the red, and that's what's really going to help you. Okay. In fact, I should have flipped that exercise. You're seeing the red because you're missing the green. That would have worked a little better. All right, that's our specialty. That's TradePro Academy in a nutshell with that exercise. All right, what you're going to learn is how to use the same tools as the professionals that you're never going to see out there because they actually work. That's what we've kind of evolved our business to be. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Warning, there's some fun ahead. I'm going to need a volunteer. Maybe somebody in here that could come in here and just say yes in the box. I'm going to pick on you, and I'm going to use your name, not your full name. But I just need somebody, the first person to say yes. I'm going to pick on them for about 30 seconds. It's going to be a fun little exercise. And, all right, it's Barbara. Barbara's not shy today. I like it. All right, Barbara, you're a little different because you know the stuff. You're a current member. But for everyone else out there on the webinar as well, I'm going to challenge you guys to kind of go along with Barbara here. And when she makes a decision, you see whether you do the same decision or not. We're going to have a little trading game here that we're going to play. And while it's a game, don't treat it like a game. This is a serious business. But what I want to show you is to reinforce a point here. All right? Okay, Barbara, you're on the hot seat here. Here's what we're going to do. Barbara and everyone else. All right? The brave soul's Barbara. No humans will be harmed in this experiment. The facts. Today the price will close at 23.79 quarter. This is the S&P 500 index. I guarantee it. Okay? Just trust me about it. It's going to close. It's going to happen. Don't question that part. It's currently trading at 23.8375. All right? Now, everyone else out there as well, along with Barbara, what's the easy trade here? The price is at 79. Close, it's trading at 83. Get short, right? Does anyone look at this and say, easy, I can just short it for 4 points? Say yes if that's you. Be honest. Because I'm going to pick on more than Barbara. All right, good. So you're like, yeah, that's an easy 4 points. I'm going to tear it up. This is a great exercise. All right, now let's do it. This is the open. Here is triple X ETF down. Here's the exercise. You got a 2 point. I'll give you 3 points. You got a 3 point stop loss. That means you know where it's going to go. 79 quarters down here, close down here. You got 3 points of a stop loss to get down there. All right, let's give it a go. Barbara and everyone else, do you want to sell here? It's starting to move down. Who wants to short at the moment? Say yes. Remember, it's 79 quarters trading 83 right now. There's your points. All right, Henry took the Henry bit, Freddie bit. All right, you guys are going to short. So you're currently short, guys, at 83 even on the S&P 500 index. 1 point stop each time. Your stop loss is 84. Okay, let's see what happens. You're out. You're out of that trade. You just got squeezed out. 84 is traded. 84 quarter, you're out. Now you lost a point. All right, now it's going up. Would you short here knowing that? What about here? You're saying, all right, well, you know what? We went up a little bit. Now I'm out of my trade. What happened to you? The exact thing I told you. You got in, you shorted, you got stopped out, price is back here. Now what do we do, guys? Who wants to short here? Would anyone short? We've lost 1 point. I said this was going to be a Barbara exercise, and then I just totally left Barbara. I totally left Barbara out of it. It's going to pop up. All right. There you go. Henry made some money on the upside. The goal here, though, is to get to the 79 quarters. Remember that. Who would short now? We're only taking the short side because we know the closing price, 79 quarter. Would anyone short? All right, Mark is going to short. He's taking a short at 84. Mark, are you going to close it? Or are you going to wait for that 79 quarter? Right now it's trading 81. So you're about 1.5 points. Sell it. Barbara says I'd close. Nick says sell it. Okay, so by closing you'd actually buy it back because you're short up here. So great work. You caught the one trade. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Go long, says Henry. All right, Henry, you're out. You're out 1 point. All right, here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Did you guys enjoy this exercise? I'll tell you what the whole point of it is. Markets move up. Markets move down. Markets move wherever the heck they want to. The number one piece of information that new traders think that they need, and I'm talking to 26% of you that answered that are trading less than 6 months. The number one piece of information traders think they need is where the market's going. Do you know how annoying it is when you have friends that don't know the business? They say, oh, you're in the markets, George. Where's it going to go? Tell me a stock. Where's gold going to be in 12 months? I can't even tell you what it's going to be next second. I'm having a hard time telling you why it's where it is right now, let alone where it's going to be tomorrow. All right? The point I'm trying to tell you is you knew where it opened. You knew where it was going to go. You had that data. That's the data that everyone thinks that they need, but we still got stopped out. Interesting. We had everything that we need, but we still got stopped out. Our brain wants to complete a circle. The way our brain works and categorizes stuff is it looks for an open loop. It looks to close that loop, learn something from it, and store it in the back of your mind for future use. The problem with trading is this loop never closes. This loop will not close. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Ditch the actual bias. Ditch the fact that you want to know where it's going, and admit this. You have no idea where things are going to go. All right, my favorite saying is, where she goes, no one knows, but I'll be on the ride. That's the idea behind it. So that's what I want to tell you. Anyone out there that gives you advice, says this is where it's going to go, say, thanks for the tip. I'm not a waiter or a waitress. Or if you are, just say, thanks for the tip. All right. We had an old client at the old brokerage that would always say that. He's like, you know, George, she was great. Mike, I'm not going to say his last name for privacy concern. I think he actually passed away. Very great guy. He would always say, my friend told me this. You know what I told him? Thanks for the tip. I'll have another. And he would tip his top hat at them. That's the point I'm trying to make. All right, guys? Remember, stop trying to look to where it's going to go. Try to find out what it is right now and what the next course of action is. I'm going to show you a few things. If you're still using a time chart to trade, especially on the futures, ditch it. Time charts are going to get you killed. What does it matter what 5 minutes happen? Right? I'm willing to bet some of you have 5 minutes that are the best in your life and 5 minutes that are worse. No 2 5 minutes are the same in your life. Why would they be the same in the market? Okay? The important factor here is not time. The important factor is volume. Okay? It's how much is traded, how much price has crossed through. Okay? Look at this chart. Now look at the exact same time period and look how much cleaner this one is. All right? Get the right charts. They're going to help you because buying a dip here doesn't look apparent. Buying a dip here, you know exactly where it is. One rotation down. find some support, and you can start the transition to the upside. Here you got no idea. It's so noisy. Okay, forget the time chart. What do I use? Point and figure charts, reversal charts, tick charts, a whole bunch of charts. But forget the time chart. That's what's hurting traders the most. All right, learn how to read quotes and quote the market. It's amazing because everything here is a sale. If you go into a market, if you've ever been in an auction environment, if you ever bought something on eBay, all right, you've been through a competitive bidding process. It's exactly what the market is. Okay, and you can find this information, order flow, data that flows through, all right, correlations to markets, how the other markets move against one another. If somebody asked me what's the one thing that you can't trade without, if you took away my entire terminal, all I would need to see is literally price quotes, not even the chart, price quotes of correlatory markets. If you showed me a feed for NASDAQ, a feed for YM, which is a Dow, a feed for the S&P 500 futures, a feed for bonds, and a feed for oil, and I just saw numbers, that's all I would need to trade. I need nothing else. Okay, that's how important this stuff is. Yet, I'd probably say 1% of traders use this. All right, identify trading zones. You got to start using these volume profiles. The game isn't as easy as it once was. You can't just say, oh, head and shoulders, I'm going to short about below the breaking of the neckline here. You're going to get pumped like that, especially on a shorter time frame. We're going to talk about what kind of trader you want to be in 1 second. Hang with me here. I got some good stuff coming for you. All right, find rejection levels. Look, you start to see a sell imbalance. What is a sell imbalance? It is a level where there are more sellers than buyers. You get out of that long. If you're long and it keeps hitting sell imbalances, get out. Because what's coming? That. All right, find reversals, rejection points, and get paid. Look at the type of charts that no one else is looking at. That's how you're going to make money. All right, see what other traders are doing. You can see exactly where orders are placed with this tool that we use. All right, where it's placed. If somebody moves one contract from the offer down to actually hit the bid and it plays out and it trades, that's reflected. If they cancel, you'll see a line through it. You can see all this stuff, how the orders actually flow. You want to see the algorithms? Look at this. You don't think an algorithm's working this order? Who could move this order in such a timely fashion by itself? Spot the algos. Look at where the volume's going through. That's the kind of stuff that if you start to dig deep, you're going to make money. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. There's 2 ways to make money, and we're going to get into that in 1 second. All right? Read order flow like an expert. All this stuff you've never seen makes a massive difference. That's how you make money in today's business on the short term. Now, if you're looking at trading a little bit longer term, then that's still applicable to you. And I'll explain to you kind of, now we're going to get into the changes as to how our business is going to evolve a little bit and how it's going to impact you, because it's going to be big. All right, I want to run another poll by you guys. I want to ask you what type of trader you are. There's trader A and trader B. Okay, trader A holds for several days. Trader B holds for several hours max. Okay, trader A has got medium to high capital requirements because it takes time to accumulate a position and hold it. Trader B needs low to medium capital because he turns it around every day. He buys it, sells it, ends up in cash. Overnight exposure for trader A. They got a high amount of overnight exposure. All right, you hold some oil miner stock. Oil gets annihilated from Saudi Arabia comments overnight, and your stock gaps down and you lost everything and then some. There's no protection against that. There's no stop against the gap. All right, high exposure, no exposure at all. The beautiful thing about trader B is he gets in, buys, he sells, and he gets out. If he can only trade 2 to 3 hours a day, guess what? He signs in 2 hours, signs out at the end of his shift, gets paid cash, cold hard cash, goes to bed and sleeps easy, doesn't worry about a darn thing. Because nothing can happen to him overnight because he's got cash moolah. All right, consistent returns, it's a little more whippy because you can't really project the longer term. You got to be more patient. Whereas on here, it's consistent in a sense that whatever you make every day is yours to keep or yours to give. Okay, pattern day trader rule. For the United States clients, you don't have to have 25K to be a more active trader. But if you have the capital and you're more of a swing trader, then yes, those rules apply to you. So you need at least 25K. Futures trading does not require 25K. Okay, emotional discipline. You can get away with medium to high emotional discipline in swing trading because you can always buy and average more, and it'll work until the one time it doesn't, until you start averaging into a company like Enron. All right, that's, average into that. Pull that chart up and see what would happen if you bought every dip. It'll come back. You wait for that. All right. Whereas as a day trader, you need some real solid emotional discipline. You're going to have to admit that to yourself. You're going to have to admit that no matter what job you're doing right now, trading will probably be harder than it from an emotional standpoint, but it could be way more rewarding. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys a poll right now. I'm going to put this poll on. Which trader do you want to be, A or B? All of you guys have some kind of goal or target in your mind. I just want to know. So I'm going to give you some information on both sides of the coin. All right, the results are in. I'm closing in 3, 2, 1. Closing that poll. I'm going to share it with you guys. Does this surprise anyone? 5% of participants want to be trader A. All right. 48% want to be trader B. And about half, which probably is the same amount of people, would like to do both. All right. So here's what I'm here to tell you. And this is actually a very encouraging survey. It doesn't matter if you're a long-term trader. All right. I have a friend that I met with yesterday who's an analyst at a pretty big bank, and he's coming up with a trading pattern for his work and himself. He's working out a model, a financial model, and he came to me to sit over my shoulder to see how microstructure works so you can start to qualify an entry. I don't care if you're long for 5 weeks or if you're long for 5 minutes. The entry is the exact same thing. Can you make a daily entry? Can you say on a daily chart I'm going to enter? No, you go in and you put an entry in down to the second, to the microsecond, nanosecond even. Okay, so why do you think you don't have to worry about that inner time frame? Here's what I'm going to tell you. All right, trader A shoots for about, let's say, 30 points on the ES. Trader B shoots for 3 to 5 points. Which trader do you think is going to get a higher winning percentage? Be honest here. Trader A or B? I'll tell you one thing. There hasn't been one time in my life that I've seen anyone make 30 points and not make 3 to 5 points on the way. All right? But I have seen a lot of times people who wait for 30 points, who at 25 it reverses and they lose on that trade. It is absolutely inexcusable to be up 25 points on anything. I don't care what you're trading and to have a losing trade. That happens to you, you're going to get annihilated in the long term. All right? It's going to happen. So what I'm saying is when we're trading, we put a really big emphasis on being right. Why is that? Because that's what we're evaluated on as a kid in school, right? When you're in the playground, you have to have the right shot if you're playing hockey, the right kick. You got to read the right stuff. You got to go to the right school. You got to marry the right person. You got to get the right job. You got to do the right things. Now you go to trading and you're telling me you don't have to be right? This is foolish. I want to be right. That's how I'm used to being authenticated in life. That's how I'm used to being proven that I'm worthy. All right? This is what I'm going to tell you. You don't have to be right. You have to be profitable. If you're looking to be right, trading is not for you. You have to look to be profitable. Forget about being right. The problem with the guys looking for 30, 40, 60, 1 million points is that they're looking to be right. All right? For me, I'm looking for some money. Give me 3 points, all right? And that's great. You know why? Do you know why I'd rather have 3 points than 30? First of all, 3 points happens every time on the way to 30. Second of all, if this guy could do, let's say, 5 contracts at 30, let's say he does 1 contract. Trading 1 contract gets 30 points. If I could get 3 points and do 10 contracts, who's ahead? Trader B. Because they took less risk, all right, they have higher probability of that trade panning out. So I'm really encouraged by the fact that you guys want to learn how to do a little bit shorter term trading, because that's where it's at these days. Right? That's where the opportunity is at. There's still some long-term projection, but right now the people that are making the big money are the ones that know how to read a long-term trend and know how to swing down to a lower microstructure, find a nice level. And then if you want to zoom out and you pick a nice level, great. You're always going to get a better entry if you know what you're doing in the trenches, right? That's it. Would you rather be right or profitable? It's a good question to ask. So I'm happy that there's people who want to do both. All right, let me show you my gift to some of the swing traders. Everyone heard of the Commitment of Traders report? I told you guys I'd give you one of the best reports that I follow here, and I'm going to show it to you. If I click it, it is actually at tradingstir.com. If you get nothing else out of this webinar, let me give you this. Okay, tradingstir.com. Go and bookmark it. It ain't my website. It's a phenomenal tool. What I need you guys to do is learn this. Every Friday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, they release something called Commitment of Traders. It's exactly what it sounds like. Position changes in different indices. You want to see feeder cattle, lean hogs, gold, silver, platinum, cocoa, cotton, anything you want to see changes, you can see it. The ones you need to look at is the E-mini S&P 500 stock index and hit COT, Commitment of Traders. Somebody says poll is still up. I'm sorry, guys. It's a bit of a, that's on me. Can you see it now? All right, good. So you basically click Commitment of Traders report. The link is tradingster.com, TRADINGSTER.com. And then when you go in there, all I showed you is how to go in your stock indices, S&P 500, click the COT, Commitment of Traders. This is a free report, and it baffles me what little percentage of the population knows about this. It baffles me. It comes out every Friday, and it's based on Wednesday to the current Wednesday. So this Friday, it'll be based on the Wednesday of this week to the previous Wednesday of the previous week. All right, and the reason it's so important, Henry, do you use this? Commitment of Traders? The reason it's so important is that it shows position sizing of the professional traders, right? Not the retail guys, the professional traders. Here's what it told you last week, and on Sunday, we talked about this, right? On Sunday, we talked about this. It tells you asset managers and institutional, these are mutual funds, insurance companies, pension funds, and the likes. What are they doing? They added 60,000 contracts to their long position. All right. For every one contract or every two contracts that's long, there's only one short. When it gets to a 2-to-1 ratio on the total positions, look out below. Why? Because it's the dynamic. There's a lot of longs already. That's why that info at the beginning becomes so important now. There's a lot of longs, which means they're what? They're sellers. Sellers waiting to happen. Okay, now you know when the shift, no buyers left, and the current longs become sellers. If there's no buyers and the current longs are looking to get out, how the heck is it going to go up? It's not. All right, leverage funds or hedge funds. Look what hedge funds are doing. They're stepping on this. They're adding onto their shorts and cutting their longs. One of these is going to get butchered. That was already known on the Sunday. All right, institutional side was getting long, hedge funds was getting short. Hedge funds have been getting short from the bottom of the Trump rally and keep getting bled out. Finally, they were right. All right, these are the reports you have to follow. I know that we want to look for the easiest way to make money, but that's not in trading. Okay, it's not meant to be easy. If you want to look at crude oil, you click on Commitment of Traders for crude oil. All right, what did it tell you this week? Look at this. Crude oil said managed money was cutting from the long position and adding shorts. You don't think that's important? You don't think that the managed money, the professional traders out there are reducing their long positions and adding to shorts at a time where it's almost 3-to-1 total positions? That makes a big difference. That could have told you early in the week, and on Sunday we identified that. Look out below on oil. All right, you can do it on gold too, Henry. I'll show you gold. You want to see gold? Henry's like the guy from Austin Powers. I love gold. All right, here's what managed money was doing. So managed money this week was cutting their long position and getting short. But what you need to know about that is they're still net long. They're still net long gold. All right, and it's still almost 2-to-1. So it'd be interesting to see what they did this week. This is not a standalone report. It's a week-over-week comparison. Okay, so there it is. If you get one piece of value out of this webinar, it's that. Now let me tell you some more info. How to make money in 2017. Not a problem, Henry. TradingStir.com. That's the link. Any questions so far, guys? Here's 2 ways to do it, and this is how our business is going to change. So this is directly relevant to those of you that are current subscribers and those that are considering. Here's how it's going to change. If you want to learn how to swing trade with options, there's great strategies. Recently, we haven't put as much emphasis on the option strategies because we've been day trading. But here's what I'm going to do. We're going to come out, or we're not coming out with, it's already designed. It's a weekly newsletter with some trade ideas. This weekly newsletter will show you ideas for income trades, how to sell options to generate premium, ideas for directional trades to tell you which trades make sense on which stocks to get some movement with option trades. And we're going to do a third component which shows you the market maker model. This is going to say market makers are building in a move based on these levels. It's going to get either here or here on the week. Watch out for those levels. And I'm going to list that for commodities and for equity indices. That's what's going to be the newsletter, plus some, excuse me, option analytics and insight. On top of that, you're going to get a strategy selection tool for the right environment, the right movement, the right volatility. You're going to get to choose the right strategy to execute your own trade. Right? You're going to get a weekly live analysis webinar on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's live, and you can ask me questions. It's pretty much the same format, except we look at charts the whole night. Not the whole night, for an hour. And then you're going to get a report to you at 1 p.m. Eastern, potentially earlier, on daily unusual activity. If you find a stock like, I don't know, Caterpillar, it's got 1 million call options traded all of a sudden, I'm going to let you know that. The reason it's important to know is now you know where the money is flowing around. If Caterpillar is at 101, let's say, and the options are at 110 and they're call options, and if somebody bought them and didn't sell them, guess where Caterpillar is probably going to go? The 110, because there's unusual activity up there. So I'll let you know of that stuff automatically. That's with options. That's a passive strategy. This is for somebody who doesn't want to roll up their sleeves and look at all that order flow stuff. So I can't be bothered with it. I don't have time or the will. I just want to trade 2 to 3 hours a week and manage my positions. But remember, you're going to have lower win percentage trades here. You're going to probably need a little bit more capital to do that with. But that's there. And you could pair it with this, learn to day trade. So this is a little bit more of an active strategy or active approach. This is trader B, this is trader A. What we're going to do now is do morning and midday updates. And I think that's really been a big hit with their room. What I do at 9 a.m., I go live on YouTube for 15 minutes for free. Then I cut off YouTube. 9:15 to 10 a.m., what do we do with the subscribers? I pull up my charts and I show my position. I show my trades. If I get into something, you see a little blue arrow. If it goes down and I get stopped up, you see a red arrow. Do I cover that up? I say, no, it was a boneheaded trade. Yeah, sure, of course, Nick. I can send you some more stuff. Send me an email, Nick, Georgia TRADEPRO Academy. You're going to get live text in an audio room. So let me differentiate the two. Is anyone kind of like saying, what's going on? Be honest. There's two distinct services, and we're going to split, and I'm going to announce to you what's going to happen. There's two different things. One is Trader A that you identify with, the one that's going to get options data. I'm going to basically show you a weekly newsletter with trade ideas, some live analysis every week, daily reports as well, all right? And that's for the guy that wants to check up on the market once in a while, but run a more passive strategy, more hands-off, more longer term. If you already have a strategy, this option strategy could provide you good income weekly. You could provide you good weekly income, or you could add these options to your current long-term strategy. The second one is learning to day trade. All right? Learning to day trade futures is basically active. You're going in there with the trenches for us. Every morning we're going to be together from 9:15 to 10 a.m. in a room. There's live text and audio. All of our group members talk to one another. We go in there, it's an open mic, we suggest trade ideas, and it's a really nice, close-knit group, and it's full of amazing people. I'll share some of their stories later on, and come out and meet them, actually. It's probably the best way to do it. That's more active trading. That's every day, Monday to Friday. You have live text, you have an audio room that you can participate in, morning and midday updates, live trading with the group. You see my trades when I'm in and when I'm out. When it's a good trade, I'll tell you about it. When it's a bad trade, I'll say, well, that was a bad trade. Right? I'm flat up honest like that. You don't want somebody to show you just winning trades. You learn more from losing trades. Okay? Those are the two services. $79 for the option service. Okay? $99 for the future service. It's more involved. It requires more work. You want to get the two of them, it's going to be $139 for the package together, all in one shot on a monthly basis. That's effective April 1st. Now, here's where it's going to blow your mind. I'm ready to blow your mind. Prepare for it. All right? Our current model is $79 for one package and $59 for another. One's Learn, one's called Earn. All that's going away. The current Learn package members will still have access to the same stuff they've paid for, but if they want to upgrade to what I'm about to offer, they're more than welcome to. They just have to email me, info@tradeproacademy.com. Okay, if you want to do the swing trading options package, $79. You know what it gets you. Trade ideas, strategy selection to a weekly live analysis, daily reports. Great service, $79 a month. Live futures, $99 a month. If you just want to do one, go for one package. If you want to do the other, go for the other. If you want to do both, you save some money, you get $139 for both of them. But if you sign up before March 31st, it's $79 US for both of them. All right? For both packages, forever, you save 43%. Why? Because $79 is kind of what a lot of them our members are paying now. And to thank you guys for your support and to give you an opportunity to lock it in, it's 79 bucks. I promise you that it's never going back to this price. It's going to be 139. It's only going to go up from here. If you get a chance to pick up the package, you lock it in forever, save 43%. All right. I'm going to give you a midnight bonus here. How many people am I? What do you mean? Midnight bonus. If you sign up before 12 a.m. Eastern, and I'm going to tell you, just give me 1 second after this. I want to tell you the real benefit here. Sign up before 12 a.m. Eastern, March 31st, basically before midnight tonight Eastern. I'm going to do a free group coaching session, and we'll all go in one group and chat about it. I'll walk you guys through, answer your questions, how to build your trading plan and get started. If you're new to this is going to be very helpful. I'll walk you through what lessons to take, how to transition through, where to find everything. It's kind of like a tour on the first day of school. All right. New pricing takes effect April 1st. Here's the package. What's it going to look like? Options Pro, 79 bucks a month. Day Trader Pro, 99. Both of them, 139. You're right, May. That might say March 31st, but it's before tonight, midnight tonight. Make this tonight. I'm not offering this all the way to March because I'm going to have a million people. The benefit of group coaching is that I get to work with you guys together a little bit more closely. After tonight, I don't want to do that. I want as many people to get in tonight. After that, I just want to work with that group. So that's the benefit. Get in before midnight, you get group coaching. All right, new pricing is effective April 1st. Here's the package you're going to see on the pricing site. Now, let me tell you how to get it, and then I'll tell you the real benefit of this. Here's the benefit. At the end of the day, it's not what you pay. It's not what you save. None of that matters. It's what you get. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. The value you're getting is if you've ever wanted to trade and you've said, hey, does anyone actually do this? Or is it just a unicorn of an idea? Does anyone actually trade? Well, you could meet the group. We do this in person. The benefit of TradePro is it's a community. You have the right tools that will actually help you be profitable. There's a right community of traders that are doing the same thing you're trying to accomplish. Some of them in there are successful. Some of them are trading demo. Some of them have a crap ton of money that I know personally. Some of them don't. And they're just trying to figure it all out. The best part is they all help each other. They're all supportive. You're having a down day, somebody will come in and lift you up, say, hey, don't worry about it. What went wrong? Let's work together on it. And that's what I love about our group. Very supportive. You have community. You have people that are doing this. I've put together some of the best courses online for trading education. You're not going to see any of this stuff. I can walk you through it. You're not going to see this stuff anywhere else because it actually works, and I say that often. All right. You have me as support. You have unlimited support in a chat. You're going to get a newsletter. You have live analysis every morning, so you're not doing it alone. You're not alone, and you're actually going to trade with me. I'm in the room every day, most days from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. All right, I'm in there. I'm not going to sell a package and just disappear. I'm trading with you guys. I'm answering questions live. What's not working for you, Nick? I just want to know what's not working for you so I can maybe help you out. Where do we sign up? Here, I'll give you guys the info. Okay, so before midnight, I'm going to give you the chat info right now. I'm going to paste it. Control-V, paste. Get in there, sign up before midnight. Anyone that gets it in before 12 a.m. Eastern is going to be part of group coaching, and I'm going to do 3 sessions that you could choose from. That way you guys can get in. We'll group coach together. Current members, if you want to be part of it, you're welcome to come and go. So go to tradeproacademy.com/pricing. And I'm going to timestamp based on the purchase on the EST time zone. Mel, the futures package isn't for people with jobs. That's a good question. So it can be. The futures market is open around the clock. So futures trade from 6 p.m. They're open right now, actually, until 5 p.m. the following day. So it's pretty much a 24-hour thing. If you could get up from about 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. or a little bit earlier, there's some overlap that you could trade. Oil opens at 9 a.m., so there's some opportunity there. You have days off. If you want to trade the Asian session, there's some opportunities. Right now in the Asian session market, let's see what it's doing. It opened up at 6 a.m. and it's pretty much down, 43 to 38. It's down about 6 points. If you had $1,000 and you shorted that, you just made $300 on $1,000 with futures. So it's not as ideal for people with jobs, but it works if you choose a certain time frame and stick to it. Futures are around the clock. That's the benefit. So I'm glad you actually asked that. Options is more of a longer term strategy. If you sign up, you get both. TradeProAcademy.com/pricing. Until midnight, you get the group coaching deal. Do you guys have any questions so far? Your coaching or online is 9:15. Yeah, it is. So my thing is more geared towards throughout the day. As we build out the community, we're going to have more traders in the Asian session. I've thought about an Asian/European room. It just won't happen until we get a few more people from that time zone. But I got people from all over the world. I got somebody from Sydney, Australia, or is it Melbourne? I think it's Melbourne, Australia, that comes in and trades a U.S. session from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day and goes to work. That's incredible dedication. You know what she says? I want to make this my full time. What am I going to do? She doesn't get sleep. The girl drinks coffee and then goes to work. I have incredible respect for her, and good for her. So you could make it fit into your schedule. You just got to decide what hours can you dedicate, and then I can work with you to find a strategy. If you want to just do the Asian session at night, there's certain things you can watch for. It's slower moving, but that could be a good thing. Henry, we're not talking about people. We're talking about trading styles here. All right, TradeProAcademy.com/pricing, $79. What you're getting here is both of these packages as of April 1st that are going to cost $139. You're getting it for $79. It's an incredible deal. Take action. Sign up now. You're getting somebody to trade with. You're getting a group. You're getting all the education. If you know nothing about trading, even better. You're going to start from the ground up. What I've put together is a education tool that if you started a professional trading company, you'd go through the exact same steps. All right. If I hired a trader and wanted to give him my money to trade, I would make him take this exact same course. All right, Christian, if you are in the Learn package, yeah, U.S. money, Mel, that's U.S. dollars, like I said in. Christian, if you're in the Learn package, what you could do is cancel the Learn package and resubscribe to the Earn package, and that'll fix it. Another thing you can do is just email me at info@tradeproacademy.com. Just say, hey, George, I talked to you about this. I want to enroll in the Earn package, and I'll give you more detailed instructions. So you have to cancel the Learn package and then resubscribe to the Earn. You could literally do that by signing in. You know what? I could show you. Why don't I show you? You could sign in, go member area, my profile. All right. And then go to subscriptions, and then you go manage and cancel subscription, and then go in and sign up for the Earn package. Okay, does that help you? Phil asks, actually Nick asked first, I'm in Tasmania, what would be my timeline? Tasmania, what time is it right now there, Nick? Doug, the COT report, the Commitment Traders report is tradingstir.com. I'm going to reply to you. I just sent you a private reply. It's there. It's 11:59 p.m. Nick, so that's, you're what? It's 9 at the moment. You're 3 hours forward. When can you dedicate some time to it? Do you work full time? Because that gives you actually an interesting time slot, because when you're done work at 5 p.m., it's still 2 p.m. here, and you could trade the close. From 2 to 4 p.m., you have a great amount of volatility in the Eastern time zone. Massive opportunity in the close. In fact, there's two sessions really, 9:30 to about 11:30, which is a U.S. Euro overlap in futures, and then 2 to 4, which is the close, which you get a lot of volume and opportunity. Oh, a.m. So it's 1 a.m. at the moment. All right, if it's 1 a.m. and it's 9 now, then why can I do this math? Let me see. What time is it in Tasmania when it's 9:30 a.m. Eastern? I love Google. It's 12:30 a.m. in Tasmania. Okay, so you're in Jordan's time frame. Here's the deal. For you, from 9:30 a.m. Eastern, so 12:30 a.m. your time, to 2:30 a.m. your time, if you could do those 2 hours, there's more than enough volatility there to make the full-time income. You shouldn't be in front of the computer all day. It just gives you 2 hours. That gives you the U.S. open to the European close. Send me an email and we can work out and figure out if it's for you. Or is it 12 p.m.? Do you teach the type of candles you showed earlier? Monty, absolutely. That's pretty much, here, I'll show you one more time. I'm going to go to the website, TradeProAcademy.com. I'll show you the course. So for those of you that are still around and want to have a look at it, I'll show you the curriculum you'll get. And then you could get a better sense of what's in here. I'm going to show you the new website. So this is the first peek that you're going to get at the member area. Just give me one moment. I'll call it up. No problem, Nick. It's not you. That's me. I just can't do math with time zones. Any other questions that are coming up while I look to answer Monty's here? You're the best, Barbara. Darn it, you are. All right, lucky him. Tell Tony we said hi. I want to show you guys where you're going to get. So for those of you that are curious, I'll go in there and show you the education. It's literally step by step. So going to view. Here we go. I'm going to pull it up. Drum roll. Anyone? All right, this is where you're going to see when you sign in. Day Trader Pro, there's your package. If you miss any of the live webinars, they're all recorded. Whoops. The Futures course for Day Trader Pro, when you go to Futures course page, you're going to see literally everything from the first lesson right on through to the 10th lesson, Introduction to Futures. They're about 60 to 90 minutes each. Then there's a quiz. All right, you go through and answer these questions. Brokerages, the type of software you need to use, then order flow basics. What is order flow? How to read the ladder? What does it mean? How to use that to your advantage when you're trading. Then you're going to look at advanced order flow, just bigger tools, more important tools. Then we go in a live trading session where I traded with my live account on December 7th and show you how to apply that. Then we look at market structure, volume profile, intermarket relationship, finding trading zones, trade entry strategies, exit and risk management strategies. Then I have trading checklists. You want to buy the dip? You go in here and you look through that checklist. And a number of other trading things. Then I also have course resources here. You could, if you want to trade oil, you listen to the webinar. It's 90 minutes, tells you how to trade oil, how to use the CQG terminal, etc. It's pretty much a complete resource. Thanks, Steven. You're a member, Steven, so you get access to all this stuff. It's going to look a little different, same idea. I got to go back a few times. That's the future stuff. Somebody asked, show me the options. All right. Show me the options. Options, both the Day Trader and the Options Pro package have a beginner course. So if you're totally new, it's going to be a phenomenal course. This course alone has 3 lessons. And I tell you which ones to watch specifically if you're just doing day trading. For Options Pro, you want to watch the whole thing if you're totally new. 8 lessons, 3 courses, total of 24 webinars. And then you go in, Option Strategy course. You could find out different strategies for different ideas. Then here's a selector tool based on the market criteria, what option strategy works. Here's a cheat sheet of options. This is kind of my Bible for options. I base this on a lot of research and I put it together. Debit spread trading, this is how to use debit spreads, a whole course based on this. Weekly income strategy, this is how you write credit to collect money from the market on a weekly basis in terms of premium, and how to do some short-term options trading. And when you look at the weekly newsletter for options, if you're saying, how do I do this income trade that George is talking about, you go in there, click it, and watch the course. All right, for Day Trader Pro, you also have daily market updates, live trading room, webinar archive, a whole ton of stuff. George, I'm on the $79 package now. Do I need to change it? Anything? Phil, you're the person that we're most happy to kind of have on board, or the people who have been with us and the new people join on board as well. You have to do nothing. So you're going to be grandfathered in. You basically just have to continue to wake up, eat breakfast, and trade. Yeah, you have to do nothing. There's no resubscription setup. If you're a Learn package client currently, then you're going to have to cancel that and re-enroll into the Earn package. What happens if I sign up after March 31st? Well, then you're going to pay $139 for something you can pay $79 for. And if you just copy the link and click it, it's not going to work. You're going to take it offline, obviously. No problem, Phil. You guys have any other questions, comments? I got to show you one last piece. I actually wasn't fully done the webinar. I just a little sidetrack. Here's some stuff of things, some good things people have said about me. That wasn't my mother or my fiance. All right. Short note from August, blah, blah. I was paying a monthly subscription to a stock and options trading company. After losing 60%, I packed it in. Lesson number one, find educational program that works. Took a bit of time to digest what just happened, regrouped, and started looking. Fortunate enough to eventually find TRADEPRO Academy. George, you teach your students the tools to be successful. Thank you, Steve. Steve's a nice guy. I'm blurring out some of the names because I don't necessarily want to share everyone's stuff. You're going to meet all these people when you come in the community. Finish the first lesson on order flow, and I got to tell you, big aha moment. Thank you so much for all you do. I can envision myself finally seeing the light. All right, things you mentioned, your updates are routine for you, but for me, they're eye-openers. I love this one. Took me 4 years to get to this moment. Finding a reputable educator and the fact that we actually get to chat for a few minutes blows me away. Man, I talk to people so much in our live service. It's as one-on-one as I can make it. I love spending time with you. I actually love to see people have that aha moment and say, wow, I'm trading different because of this. I love it. That gives you more satisfaction than money, if you could believe it. If not, then whatever. Thanks for your transparency and willingness to be real, including showing your losses and learning from mistakes along the way. That's a big thing. I show trades that I lose. I'm straight up about it. I had a crappy day. I had a crappy day today. Why? Because I noticed the market was starting to drop, and I'm in there trying to buy it. And I eventually sold it and recovered some. But I finished a down day on a day that I should have made an absolute killing. And I was honest about that. And you can learn from things like that. All right? Satisfaction guarantee. If you guys sign up tonight before midnight, remember you get the group coaching bonus. And you get 30 days. If you don't like it the first month, email me before the next month gets charged to your card and say, George, I know it's going to be 139 bucks, and I know I'm paying 79, but I just don't like what I'm learning. It's not for me. All right? I'll give you your money back. Do you know why? Because I want you to like what you're getting. I want you to be part of a group that you feel comfortable with. And I can easily tell you with 2 products with double the value, you're paying almost half the price. So I'm still going to slap a satisfaction guarantee on it. All right, what are you going to learn in the futures course? I showed you that. Foundations course, we got a 100-page workbook and 24 lessons. That's more technical info. Intermediate and advanced section, we got 9 lessons on that. Strategy sheets. We have debit spreads, 4 lessons with a ton of live examples, recordings of live trading sessions. Market analysis live, we do this every Sunday. We look at stocks, options, futures. We do credit spreads. We look at levels. We look at a more micro or macro picture, the bigger term trend. We do that every weekend. All right, you guys have any questions? Alan is asking a question. Late to the party, so I've already answered this. Is there a daily chat room or you stream your screen trades? Yes, Al, there is. And I would open to show it to you, but there's names everywhere all over it, and I don't want to do that. But there is a chat room. The way it works, every morning we have a text chat, so you sign up for your user ID. You can chat back and forth with everybody. It's open, honest, transparent communication. Everyone talks about what they like, what they don't like, what their trades are, and I post my trades. And then at 9:15 a.m. every morning, I open the room through audio. So you're going to hear audio, you're going to see my screen, and when I buy something, you see a little blue arrow saying I bought, and I'll tell you about it. I bought it because of this. Here's my stop. And when I get out, it's a losing trade or it's a winning trade. You'll see both. And you'll see the rationale behind them. So that's part of the $99 package that you're going to get over here, the Day Trader Pro. Leo, it's telling me to look out the window. When you look at the computer as much as I do, you need to do some eye exercise. But it's part of this package. If you pay the $79, you're going to get that plus the options anyways. For 79 bucks, you pay less than the full price of the Day Trader with the trading room, plus you get options. Good to know. I just want to watch and learn live. Yeah, that's probably the best way to learn, by the way. Best way to learn is to go in there and see other people do it and not do what they're doing. I'm going to caution people who want to use it as a signal service. Do not use it as a signal service. Use it to learn and build your own approach, but do not use it as a signal service because it's your money. Your money shouldn't be chasing my trades. You know what I mean? But you could learn a lot. You could learn from us, from other members. We got guys that trade bonds. We have someone that does day trading stock picks. This guy mentioned a stock that exploded 20% higher overnight, and he just talked about it the day before. We have other people that trade currency. We have other people that swing trade. And when that community forms, you get a lot of different valuable input. And my biggest goal is not to get you into trades, but to prevent you from getting into some trades. The trade where it looks like it's going to go up and you're going to buy it and you get slaughtered. If we could remove that, losing less means making more. Smart business move. Looking forward to upcoming changes. Yeah, there's some big ones. Thanks, Phil. You too. Have a phenomenal night. Thank you for coming out as well. You're we value value the time you've had with us and look forward to a lot of great things to come in the future. Anyone else have any questions? I'll send the link one more time. Sign up. There's no 2-week trial on this. It's $79 flat out. In April, we're going to go to a 7-day trial, so a 1-week trial of these packages. But right now, there's no more trials because you're locking in a great price. You're getting group coaching. What more do you want? Let me just I go out there and trade your account for you. The way I've been trading recently, the last couple of days, I'll be honest, you don't want that. I haven't done phenomenal. And I have periods where I don't do phenomenal, and I show it. I'm just flat out honest. Any other questions, comments, concerns, emotional breakdowns? All right. What do you got? You got 2 hours and 45 minutes. Get in there and get the group coaching. The group coaching is basically going to be us working together. I'll have the whole group together, and I'll walk you guys through what it takes to get started with all this stuff, to make a decision which one to start with, which education to watch, how to get CQG if you're going to go with the Day Trader Pro, and the likes. All right. Do you get support services? Yes. So in our group chat, there's also an area you could directly message me or a support team, and then we help you guys out. And it's live. It's real-time support. On Options Pro, if that's what you only want to do, then you get email support only. But, I mean, it wouldn't make sense for you to wait to get Options Pro to pay the same price as all of it. Any more comments, concerns, questions? Does anyone have any hesitations? Does anyone want to share some experiences that in the past were successful? Anyone want to share some good news? Any current members here left that want to share a story or two? I'll read out some comments if you guys leave it. I remember the one thing that sticks with me about our community is we had a member that was about to exit the business. They said, you know what? I stink at this. I'm just not doing it properly, and I'm going to get out. And somebody just gave them a good talking to, and they said, listen, like it happens. Just bounce back. Here's what I did the last time it happened. And that person's still around, cutting losses, breaking even now, and getting close to getting live again. So that's the kind of stuff I like. I don't know. I never make performance claims. You look on our website, I'll never say make 30% a month. Fire your mutual fund manager and make 30% a month. That's not me. It's not a good way to go about things. Okay? Because what I'm guaranteeing is that you got education here that will allow you to be successful. And around the right group, that's what will happen. All right, guys. That's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I'll send the link to you one more time to get on there. Before midnight, you get the group coaching session, and then after that, until the end of March, it's going to be until March 31st, you're going to be able to get the $79, and then April 1st, it's going to this pricing tier, and we're never looking back. So there's enough value to justify it. All right. You guys take care. Have yourself a great evening. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, the link. I sent the link. If you want another way, go to TradePro Academy, TradeProAcademy.com/pricing, and you can sign up there for the Earn package. That's what currently gives you access to $79 for everything in the future. What was I going to say before I left? Oh, if you have any questions, guys, if you want to ask me anything, just email me directly, George at TRADEPRO Academy. Is Mel still here? She's going to make fun of my writing. .com. Mel, you still here? Mel hadn't traded with us for a while. She said, your writing hasn't got any better. Well, I'm sorry. But that's not my focus. All right, guys. All the best. Have a great evening. I wish you the very best. Join a ton of other members doing this thing. Let's move together towards profitability. That's the offer you get before midnight. You get group coaching plus a satisfaction guarantee. Sign up and give it a shot. I promise you'll see the market in a new light and be renewed with some energy and anticipation. Take care. Have a great evening. Hopefully you learned a lot. Remember those sell stops. You got a lot of buyers on a lot of volume. Necessarily doesn't mean it's going to go up. It might actually drop. And use that to qualify some of your trades and maybe even make some money. Take care. You guys have a great evening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, Georgia TradePro Academy, I wish you the very best. And we'll see you. Yeah, tomorrow we're still on for 9. Why wouldn't we be? Tomorrow 9 a.m. YouTube live for free. By the way, if you guys want to get some free analysis before you make up your mind, go to youtube.com/TradePro Academy. Every morning we did a 15-minute market introduction free, and then we go into our subscriber room to do the actual live trading. All right? Toodles. I'll see you guys around. Let me get some rest. You do the same. You have until midnight. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon. I look forward to working with you. Goodbye.